Good morning, YouTube. Sorry about the video last night. I did not realize what an idiot I was. The air conditioning was blowing right on the back of the phone, so it really distorted the sound, and didn't realize that until after I already uploaded it. So I wanted to get a quick video in. I'm on my way to work right now, but let me get out of my driveway here. Sneaking out of the house, not early, I would say, but I got everything ready for the little guys and the woman in charge for work today and school and everything. But yeah, my video last night had to do with the pulling issues with my 2017 SS. It has a little over 1,300 miles on it, and we put about 20 miles on it yesterday just trying to road test it, which seems a little excessive to me, but they had to drive it and see, I would imagine. So I guess they put a reasonable amount of mileage on it to figure that out. And anyhow, it looks like they're on to something as far as what is causing the pulling issue. The wheel is still not completely straight, but it's better. It turns out, and it's also not pulling right now. So what they actually ended up finding out is that in this drawing here, in this image that I'm showing on the screen right now, 3, 4, and 5 are the, I'll just call it the fastener that hooks the upper mount of the steering knuckle in place. It is apparently worn out, and from what I understand from the dealership, what they told me is that it has turned into a warranty issue. I don't know for sure, because I did a little research last night and I couldn't find anything additional about that. But this is a printout from the I think it's 20. Yeah, it's a 2000. I have to go back and look. If it's 16 or 2, I forget exactly which manual it's from. But long story, even longer. It looks like they found something. It was worn. They tried to do initially they tried to do a toe-in adjustment, and that didn't do anything. And I wasn't even 100% sure why the heck they tried that, but it, as expected, did nothing. Then they decided, okay, well, we're gonna have to do the full alignment for front and back, and see if they could realign the front cradle, the rear cradle, I mean. And they said they got it a lot better, which they did. The car does feel better, and it's not pulling right now. They did say, the likelihood is that I will start to feel it pull again. But the bolt should be here on Tuesday, so it's a good thing. I probably should be more upset about it, but I'm not. It is a little annoying that you have a brand new car with 1,300 miles on it, and there's already something that's considered less than minor that has to get replaced on it. But these cars seem to be susceptible for recalls for whatever reason. Be that as it may, I still very much love the car, and I'm a little slow this morning. I'm very tired. It's we had some pretty bad storms roll through last night, and I just could not get to sleep soundly enough before they kept rolling through. So we had a steady 2-3 hours of pretty heavy storms, and kind of kept me awake. So if it isn't the little guys waking up, it's me keeping myself up because of work or summer storms. So regardless, at least I get to wake up, right? So what I'm going to end up doing, and I mentioned this in the previous video, I'll just make this like an addendum video. I'll take some better pictures of this and put it on my Instagram account. But the next videos will most likely be after I get the car back next Tuesday, and I'm probably going to do a video this weekend because I'll be on vacation next week down the shore. So I actually have a good 3 to 4 days where I can do work on my house and work on the garage, because I have a 6-liter, low mileage 6-liter LSA heads, bunch of stuff sitting in there for the 84 Cutlass that I was eventually going to build for that. I got a 5.3 liter. I got another 5.3 in stock in case I blow this one up. and I'm trying to learn more about tuning and everything, and I'm doing a reasonably good job of tuning. But for whatever reason, once I get into power adds, I get a little weird with it. Tuning a naturally aspirated motor is fairly straightforward, but with the boost and everything with this motor, plus this thing's been sitting for a long time, so I gotta make sure that when I fire it up, I can't be digging into it real hard. But I think the 5.3 that was in the car now has like 110,000 miles on it, so those rings are perfectly seated for boost. But I have another 5.3 that's like 80,000 miles on it, but that one's all torn apart. I'll probably save that one for like a turbo motor build, most likely. And then I got that 6-liter that's on a stand that's sitting in my garage towards the door. And so why am I rambling? Because I'm going down the shore, I want to get this car out of my driveway and into the garage so it's all nice and locked up. And I want to do some much needed cleaning, because when you see this video, this garage, it is a disgrace. And as life gets away from you, you end up having a couple kids, a few years go by, like a half a decade, and your garage, your work area gets a little out of control. And I have the Cutlass in there, I have my dad's 68 GTO in there, and I want to get this guy back in there. And it looks really bad. It cleans up very quickly because there's a method to my idiocy and how I leave my tools around, like stationed in a particular area where I'm working. So I've got most of the tools away. I have a pile of stuff in the center of the room that I need to sweep up, vacuum up. I vacuumed out the bay where the Cutlass is. I turned it around, I rolled it out, and turned it around, pushed it back in so that I could do some of the stuff in the back of the car. Basically the fuel cell, and that's an Aeromotive A1000 tank. That's the 15-gallon cell that has the in-tank pump and the 0 to 90 ohm GM sensor. The reason I put it in the trunk is because the Cutlass was a race car for several years, then sat for like 8 years before I got back to it. It has a roll bar and an 8-point roll bar. I'm turning it more into a autocrosser / road racer type of car, but I still want to drive it on the street. And it's nice to have the roll bar in there because I don't have to do much for when I want to do like the Optima Ultimate Street Car Challenge. There you go. Sorry, a little tired. And I have that, and there's local autocrosses and stuff like that at Raceway Park in Englishtown, and I'm really close to Millville. So it's it's very easy for me to get access to doing some of these things, but I gotta get my feet wet because it's been a very long time since I've actually done anything competitive, drag racing or otherwise. There is a small part of me that really wants to get back to drag racing, so I will probably do a little bit of this with the car. But the boss she's not all that particularly thrilled about the drag race, especially with 2 little kids. So we'll work around that. Maybe I'll get them involved in it too. But the Cutlass has in the back area, I got the fuel cell done. I also have the trans cooler that I mounted back there, and that was based off of another really cool build. I forget what the guy's name is. Darn it, he has a One Guy's Garage, I think is his name. He has a really awesome, I think it's a 70 Nova twin turbo. I believe he used to be like an engineer or something like that, quit his job, started this up, has a hell of a business now, and has one hell of a car. Like, I think it's a 7-second street car that, and once I'll find that, I'll put the link in there for some of his videos. But he does some pretty amazing work, and he was an inspiration for putting that trans cooler back there. I got the 4L80s in. I'm looking for a better dipstick. I tried to use a stock one, but with all the harness and everything there in the way, I was having some trouble getting the dipstick tube to pass through the area of the firewall. I don't have a heater in there. I don't have the stock heater in there. I did get a very simple Summit Racing heater for the car, and that's mainly because if I decide to take it out in the winter, or when it's getting a little cooler, I want to have a little bit of heat in there, and it's just very simple. I'm running like one duct, mostly to the floor and one to the windshield if I have to, because I'll put the wiper blades back on. But I don't need that giant suitcase, and I don't need air conditioning for the car for what I'm using it for, at least for now. at some point, if I want to spend a little bit of money, there's a adapted. I think it's. I don't remember the actual name of the company that's retrofitted into the housing, but there's a company that does G-body specific suitcases. They're much lower profile. They use a lot more electronic solenoids to control the doors versus the larger vacuum operated diaphragms that the original one had. So it is a lower profile. Again, I'm not even 100% sure what I'm going to do with this car, the Cutlass, because I have a little bit of idiotic tendencies where I love to build the stuff and then enjoy it for a few months and then sell it and move on to the next thing. So I'm not going to say that isn't going to happen with the Cutlass, but we'll see. And then, once I got most of the stuff done in the back of the car, I still have to do the brakes. I got the Z06 brakes up front on that car, and I have the Z06 brakes that I still got to mount on the back. And I'm not even 100% sure what's involved with that. I think I got to pull the axles, which is not the most desirable thing, especially since the thing's operating so great. I hate to pull something apart that's working, but that's been sitting for so long that it's probably a good time to change the fluid in the differential as well, because that thing's been sitting probably without steady use for over damn near probably close to 10 years now. So got a bit of work back there still, and I got all the fuel lines to run. So I have a lot of that. I do have the fuel pump controller from Aeromotive done. I got to do some of the wiring there. I got most of the wiring in the engine bay done, and I have let's see, a lot of wiring. I got to run the fuel lines. Oh God! And I forgot my least exciting, least favorite part of it is the brake lines. I still got to do that, and I'm not even 100% sure. I may use like the copper nickel line. I see that's a little softer, a little easier to. I'll say it's a little bit more malleable. I can actually bend it a little bit easier instead of using like the pure stainless lines. Apparently works pretty well. I got to dig into that a little bit more to make sure that it is truly safe for as much as it. But I can do like one continuous line from the front to the back, and I've seen quite a few people use that. So probably will investigate that. But I just got to find some damn time. So in the coming days, you're gonna probably see a lot of videos coming out from the not only about the Cutlass, status on this car, and garage cleanup, what I'm doing on the house, and probably too, I got to get myself in better shape. You can see I'm a little, maybe a little bit more than little meaty here, and that's another thing that when family comes first, the going to the gym all the time comes a distant like 5th or 15th or something like that. So, but I just, I gotta get myself in better shape. So I'll probably be doing some of them. At one point in my life, I lost 80 pounds, and then I found all of it, which was good, because I wasn't necessarily looking for it, but I tripped and fell over each one of the beers and cheesesteaks and stuff, and it's found its way here and in the belly and everything. So I need to get my act back together. I know how to do it. I just got to do it. So I figured, you know what? I'll chronicle that as like a side thing to this channel. So if anybody's interested in losing weight, maybe if I get a little bit of an audience to we can root each other on and see where it goes. So trying to expand the content. I enjoy doing this. Please follow, subscribe. I will continue to update. Again, thank you for all your questions. Always good questions. Great to see what you guys are doing. If you got links or anything like that, let me know. I'll put them in mine, and make sure guys get to your page as well. So thanks a lot. Have a good day, guys.